This is the S&P 500 Spider ETF SPY one-day reading for April 8th, 2024. It's currently February 16th, 2024, 1:48 p.m. Eastern Time. SPY at the time of this reading is currently $502.03. That's USD. And the shuffle video that we're about to play for you for the April 8th reading was created on February 2nd, 2024 at 4:18 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video here in the lower left corner. So the overall theme and behavior for SPY on the 8th, we have a period of sideways rotation along a key support level on a multi-day scale. Behavior around the highest high, we have a notable move higher to reach the high. This will stand out on a multi-day scale. Probably it's a big move. Usually this is something that like fills a gap or it creates a gap up. Either that or it's like I don't think it's a short squeeze in this case because it's in the high correlation position, but it'll be a notable move. It'll really stand out. And then behavior around the low, we have a notable decline into the low. The low marks a opportunity on a multi-day scale to open up long position and close short positions. Buys to trade around an important bottom on a multi-day scale or important trough of some kind, I should say on a one-day chart scale minimum. The whole purpose of the channel is to transmute some of the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. We do that by following the rule of karma for the channel. You go to the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, and 5% of the profits from every profitable trade utilizing this information should be donated forward to one of these charities, or pick a charity of your choosing as long as you're paying 5% forward, and then 5% should be sent back to the channel through one of these links. If you're international, you can use Wise or you can use YouTube tips, and that leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend that 90% out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you follow the rule of karma for the channel, the universe considers you an angel investor. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Blessings to all my angel investors. So let's get back into it. Okay, now remember guys, the cards going left to right across the screen here are timeline cards. They represent most of them represent about 1 hour of time, but it's important to understand that some readings, the energies of the cards will not line up perfectly with like 1 hour of time, right? In some cases, some readings, not all of them, just some of them. When that happens, make sure to follow the sequence of events of chart behavior as outlined by the prediction, because that will remain accurate and allow you to stay on track even in cases where you have to give it plus or minus an hour here or there, wiggle room, based on the fact that not each card's energy necessarily will line up perfectly with 1 hour of time. But there's many readings where you don't even need to do that. So in the pre-market, we have a failed attempt to break through a key resistance level followed by a decline through key support. We actually open higher, have this failed attempt, and then decline through key support. There's a double cross reading congruency going on there, which leads me to believe there's a pretty important price level there, right? On the preview from the prior day, we have the abundance card, which in a lot of cases indicates a important high or a new high or an all-time high or something along those lines, and it correlates to here midday. We have three crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level around the open, and it's a cross to the upside, then to the downside, then to the upside. Usually that third cross, the second to the upside, I should say, confirms a bullish trend. Not always, but usually, and it looks like it probably does in this case. There's a notable trade opportunity there right around the open in the midst of it, a sharp decline into that crisscrossing behavior. I'd say that's a good place to it's a good place to close this, like an overnight swing trade, or if you've got, you know, a strong risk tolerance, then I would wait till midday. If you'd rather get out safely for a profit and you were holding a long position over the weekend here, I would say that would be a good place to get out. But you want to look to open a long position here at the open in the midst of one of the lows for the day. In that first half hour, push the upper end of a range higher on a one-day chart minimum. It's a really big move higher. AM card is the biggest move higher. And the adjustment card is pretty close as far as moving to the upside scale-wise. So my sense is that we probably have, there's also a high correlation here to the of cups between 10 and 11 o'clock. So my sense is that we have this big move higher out of a low. We come to a day's high, and then we decline probably back to lows there decline back to lows somewhere between 10 and 12. I'm thinking closer to 11 o'clock, but somewhere between 10 and 12. You want to close at the high, you want to close out of a long position for a day trade. You also want to wait off of the high that decline back into a low. You want to utilize that opportunity to open up a long position for another day trade. So what you could do is here at the open, for day trade purposes, here at the open, you could open up a partial long and then add to that partial long if and when we revisit the low here between 10 and 12. Right, there's like this big move higher into a high and then halting of the bullish trend marked by sharp decline through key support. And then about midday, we have another notable move to the upside, another double cross reading congruency, indicating probably a high for the month again. I think we probably see the high for the month here in the pre-market, and then we see it again here midday. And this rally midday into a near overbought peak is where you'd want to close out of those long positions that were opened earlier in the day for that day trade. We could also open up a short here for another day trade, where you close that short at the end of the day. And we'll talk about that in more detail in just a moment. So between 1 and 2 o'clock, off of an overbought crest, well, the overbought crest forms somewhere between 12 and 2, but I'm leaning closer to the 1 to 2 o'clock hour, and we sell off through multiple support levels into an important support level on a one-day chart scale between 2 and 3, where we do some price swinging back and forth. We see another day's low in the last hour, but out of that low, we have a big move from the bottom of a range all the way to the top of a range. Interesting. I think there should be a green highlight here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I left that out. So the high and the low are within close time proximity to each other. And you see that take place here, but I think we probably have another high at the end of the day. So we go from another low in that last hour with a big move to the upside to into the close, where at the close we should have a failed attempt to break through key resistance. And it'll look like we're going to break through that resistance because of the behavior that we saw maybe here between 2 and 3, where it looks like we've established support. So we have this big move higher from the bottom of a range to the top of a range into the close, and failed attempt around the close followed by a decline through key support. Usually it's the price level that we see like the falsely established support. So whatever the support is here between roughly 2 and 3, that support, it's false. We bounce off of it, move to the upside, probably test the highs from earlier in the day, fail to break through those, and then decline probably overnight into significantly lower price levels. And it's kind of interesting, this pen here, I try to keep these type of objects out of the readings, but somehow this got in the photograph, and it's a red pen pointing downward. I like that, because the following day I also got indications that we opened lower. So the sneak preview for the 9th is a sideways fluctuating decline that precedes a rally. And that's SPY for April 8th, 2024, my friends. Thank you so much. Please support the channel by subscribing if you like this content. Really helps out the channel. Most importantly, make sure to follow that rule of karma. Be one of the blessed 3% of individuals who watch this and actually do follow through on the rule of karma. Those people make the world a better place. Not that other people don't, but these are special few. Be one of those. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to do. So with that said, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one.